we're back for take two. It looks like the camera stopped, but you didn't miss anything. All I did was just grab this piece of paper, and I was talking about, I don't know if I got it all, I was talking about how sometimes when you're jelly printing and you're not sure of what's, I was printing with fabric and I wasn't sure exactly what the print was going to look like, so I just printed it on cardstock and it was absolutely fabulous. So yeah, I could have done this on the material, but I didn't. So this was just a melange of whatever, but I think I kind of like the lightness of it, so I'm just gonna tear a little strip here. Now again, it depends on whether you want the white paper showing or not, and that'll work. So if you have any holes, you just continue like this. If you have, oh, I like that. If you have any holes showing, then that's just fine. There you go, and then you can build it. So what I'm going to do just for the demonstration purpose right now, I'm going to glue this on. So you can use glue, you can use fluid medium, you can, might work with a glue stick. Maybe it won't be permanent. I'm just using art glitter glue and I'm stuck and it's not going to go. So we're not going to use this. We are going to put it down with fluid medium. And I can't get it open, so we're going to go with gel medium. There we go. I'm sure this happens to you guys sometimes. It's not just me. Oh God, I hope it's not me. Did it open? No, it won't open. Okay, so let me get some gel medium on here. And I'll put this down. There we go. Good. And then I think I had this piece on here. Nope, I didn't. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. I had this one. So I'm going to put my gel medium here. Put this down. Lovely. And then I have this one. Yep, going to use that. I'll put it a little higher up. A little bit more gel there. There we go. And now I'm going to put this big boy down at the bottom. I need a little bit more. And you can line it up however you like. So that's how you build the background. I have got just a wee bit of space here. So I'm going to take my lovely paper. I'm just going to tuck in a corner. Before this sets dry on me, I'm just going to tuck this in to cover up that spot. Oh gosh, that's good. I like that. That's going to work. And then you can very easily just... I don't have my scissors with me. That's one thing I didn't bring upstairs, so I will just trim it off with my fingers, and I'll cut that down properly after. So this is how it's going to look. I'm not going to continue because I realize this video is long already, 30 minutes for the first one, and so I need to cut this a little bit short. Now here and there I've given you some rice paper, and you can also add that in for a little bit of lightness or brightness wherever you like. I think I like that. So here I've got this little bit of green paint from the background showing through. Now this I'm just tearing, but it's very easy to rip that with, or cut it with the paper, with the water, like I did the other. So I'm going to put that down. So you're just building your background or your land mass, and there you go. So that's how it works. So I think I'm just going to stop there because I need to work on this with the glazes, and no, it might work. I'll continue. Oh, what the heck. What to use, what to use. I do like this one. Can use it there. Yes, I can use it there. Let me taper this down. And I'll put that there. Cool beans. That's working out for me. And do I dare? Or maybe I still have some more of that green. That would kind of pull it in from there, kind of like that. Just taper off the end here. And I need a little something something tucked in there. I think I will use some tissue. This has got an interesting pattern in it. So, do a little patch with this. Oh, I should look up. Are you still in, am I still in frame? Yeah, okay, good. And a little bit more. Now, if this, if we were doing this in class, I wouldn't be doing this lengthy demo, of course. I'd be taking you step by step or giving you just the highlights of it, so you could go ahead and do your thing. I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to get rid of these scraps out of my way real quick, but I will save them because we save scraps. And I'll rip this off to finalize that edge. Oops. So as it's drying, you do, I actually kind of like that. You do want to have a look and see that your edges are down. This edge for me is not down. It came up. There we go. And now I will just get my brush in water. I'm going to switch to the fluid medium because while I was using the gel, Richard got my fluid medium open. Thank you very much. So here we go. I'll be using this next because I think it's, is it time? Maybe not. Okay, I'll get that wet. So now, what I did, when I talked about a glaze coat, what I want to do is I want to fix this. I don't want it to be like that. I want to put like green on green, orange on orange, brown on brown. I just want to make this whole thing more cohesive looking. And to do that, we're going to need some paint. We're going to use the paint that we have. But I'm thinking maybe I should put that image down so I know where I'm headed. So I will do that. I'm going to go ahead and put it down. So you take this, here it is. And that's about where I'm going to have it. And so this time I left it, I've got my stem there, so we're okay. I'm just going to figure out where I want my guy to go. Put down some fluid matte medium. And pretty carefully, I'm just going to lay it in place. I'm just going to drape it where I want it without working it too much. And that'll do. And I'm just going to pat it down. Oops, oops. If you have to pick it up really, really carefully and put that in place. There. As I said in the instructions, don't worry about wrinkles. We all got them. And it's fine. So here you can see, or at least I can see from my end, I'm missing the outside edges of the flower. If you reference the photo that I sent you in the instructions, you'll see what I did. I added a little bit of scratches and a little bit of doodles. I filled in the base of this flower here. I fixed this, and then I did some squiggly doodlies with the pen. And this is the pen that you're going to use. I've given you each one in a kit, and once this is dry, this works pretty good. It's a fine pen. It's just like the Signo white gel pen. It's got a little bit of a finer tip, and they were selling at the art convention, painting convention. They were selling these for $5, and so I bought a couple and I tried them, and that was great. So apparently you can't get them unless you order them by the case from Japan, but I went on to Amazon and found those and got a fabulous deal, so I was very happy to give you each one. So that's it for the fluid medium, and let me get a cap for it. I should fix that cap before I close it, but there it is. Right, so now we can do the glazing. I have used a couple of different colors. I've used my teal. Actually, I'm going to bring in my teal as well. So I'm using the fluids. You all know I've talked about the fluids and we've used them before. You can make your paint fluid just by adding a little bit fluid medium to your paint. So I'll show you how I do that. I will take a little bit of that fluid medium. Oh, it's hard to open. And I'm going to take a little bit with my palette knife And I'm just going to dump it right here on the palette. And you probably can't see that, I'm out of frame. So I just got a little puddle of it here. So all you need to do is take your regular paint. Am I in frame? Yeah. Take your regular paint, tip it in a little bit of fluid, and then you can water it out a bit. And it'll be like a glaze. What it does, it doesn't change the, like a glazing medium, it doesn't change the color of the paint, it just changes the transparency of it. So I've got it nice transparent, use water too, and I'm just going to be putting a little bit on here. So I think that's dramatic enough. You should be able to see that. I can get a little bit closer. So can you see the difference? You can see that splash of bright blue there. You just water it out. I'm going to go into my water and just blend it out a bit. So all I'm doing is just giving it a little tint of color on the top. I'm using blue on blue. You can use a little bit of a baby wipe if you feel, oh my God, that's awful, that's terrible, that was just too harsh. Use your finger to move it around, but it changes all of that and it's absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to be using some of the fluid green. I don't have fluid green. Okay, I'm going to use this brighter green. Add a little bit of that. Make it transparent. And I'm just going to go on top. So now I'm just going to be, it's kind of like fixing all the edges. You're just going in and just make sure your paint is transparent. So you don't want a heavy glob on it. And there you go. Taking a little bit of water, a little bit of fluid medium. You can just use straight water if you want. And just go over it. I have to trim that edge off after. And for this one, I think I used some brown. So I had some fluid brown. That is burnt umber light is what I was using. But any kind of brown. So I'll just put a drop of that there. And again, pick up some fluid medium. Thin it out some. This is dried paint from the project. I kept my palette so you could see the colors. So it's all dry underneath. I'm not actually picking up blue. And this is a little bit harsh. I'll tap it off, and I think I'm going to do this. So the brown will be nice. The brown will give a nice glaze to everything. I especially want to pay consideration to those edges. If you have white bits of the paper showing, you want to get in there. I'm going to put some of this brown all along the bottom. And that changes things. If you have Quin Gold, you can use that, but this is all dried up, so I will stick with the brown and put a little bit at the top here. So that just makes everything a little bit cohesive. And I think I need some more green over here. And there we go. So it does make a difference. It just makes the landmass better. Now to finish it off, I like the blue in there and I wanted more blue. I'm just dabbing this because I can see the shine of the wet on it, and for this I need this to be dry. And I'm trying to hurry. So I'm going to take some of that. I'm going to take a palette knife. Actually, I'm going to take some black. This is black, I think. Yes, it is. I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to scrub some black here and there. You can also use a palette knife, but I'm going to have more control with my black. And I'm just going to be putting a little bit down at the bottom here. I'm not going to want to go in a straight line. Oh, I got a knob there. Let me get that off. I'm going to pick up a little with my palette knife, and I'm just going to scrape. Just get some solid black and scrape across. We are going to brighten this up in a minute, but that grounds it for me. And if I got some on my palette knife, I can put a little cross here so I can ground the flower. Okay, I'm going to wipe off my palette knife, and now I'm going to go into the teal. Here's the color here. I'm just going to pity pat some. And what I want to do is to come on here on the side. Now if you scrape across it, the different layers of paper you have, it's not going to be a solid. It's going to be really neat and give great texture. And I just want to extend that. I just want to extend, oh, you see that? That lifted on me. I'll have to glue that down properly. And there it pops up again. So I love this blue on here. If you look at the project, you'll see, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just want to extend it a little bit and give some blue in there. That was my color of choice. If you had a different color you wanted to use, feel free to do that. And that looks awesome. Now when this is dry, I am going to be coming back in and doing the same thing with a little bit of white. Just because you may have gotten a little too dark. I think I got a little bit too dark. And so now, just here and there, especially towards the top, because I'm trying to keep my base darker. And it also, the white on top of the teal just looks so good. Oh, I like that. Now I'm doing this wet on wet, so some of my colors are blending, but I'm liking that. I'm liking that the white isn't showing up really white. There it's got kind of brown. Oh, I like this. And there I still have a dirty palette knife, so when I scrape across here, look at that. That changes that landmass beautifully. I'm still missing some right here on top of the green. So this is a give and take thing. Oh, I quite like that. Can you see that? Can you see that? I see that. There it is. Look at that. I think that's awesome. And I'm going to quit here. And that's going to be it for that. Now, while you have some wet paint with your gel medium or water, I'm going to take a little bit of water. Where's my blue? I'm going to take some blue. And I'm going to add splatters. This background's still pretty white. So I'm going to add some splatters. And my splatters just now got right on top of the flower. That could be okay. I'm going to leave it. I was just going to take it off, daub it off, but that's okay. So in my instructions, I say to do this, but then I say take a clean brush and just kind of go after some of those little spots and water them out. So instead of daubing all the big ones you don't like, just water them out. Leave lots of plain dots that are good, but this is also going to, and use water on your brush for sure. We don't want to have definite edges to this. You just want to wash it out. And just pick a few, and it'll make a little bit of a glow behind it. And it's kind of fun just to poke through. It's a watercolor thing. Just poke through. And what's that? Get off. And now you can do the same thing with the green. Let me get a little bit more green. So, I don't think that's loose enough. Nope, it isn't. I need more water. And I'm picking up more blue when I don't want it. A little bit more green. Oh, there, that's coming. A little bit more green. I'm getting lots of water right now. I said more green, so I'm going to have to change my spot because all I'm picking up right now is blue. Here we go. And you can add some black, you can add the other colors that you use. You could use some splashes of purple. Now, can you see what's happening? The water is moving those spots around a little bit. I think that's pretty awesome. Because when it dries, you're going to have those little glowy spots of colors. Glowy spots. I don't think that's a word, but that's what we're going with right now. There we go. And I have a few that I could poke out. And that's about it. I'll let that dry. I'll have a look at it and see if I wanted to add more. You could also, if you happen to make a nasty smear, you could pick up some of the teal with a baby wipe and very lightly go around the whole edge if you want it. Just a little bit though, because I'm trying to be okay with a lot of white space. And I'm not always successful. So this is just a little test for me to see if I like it. So there you go. I've edged it a little bit. And now I've got things that are pretty wet, but I'm going to try to show you with this, with the pen anyways, how to doodle. When it's dry, I just went around the edge just really, really loose. Not really too terribly careful. And it's okay, you don't have to make a straight line if you go over it again, because then it looks like it's intentional. So don't even try to make a straight line. There you go. And then I went back in. I'll do this upside down so you can see it. And I just went in here and there and just started to make a line and then a whole bunch of loops. And then out. And then again, a whole bunch of loops. and then stretch it out. Just to add a little bit more detail. However you want to doodle. Some of you are doodling fantastic. That's not my forte, that's for sure. If you don't like the pen, if you don't like the way it's working, then you can use a micron pen. So here I just fix these edges, and you'll notice that's a good edge. You'll notice that this project is still pretty wet. It's not dry by any means, and this pen is working, which I like. So there, I'm just gonna, and here I lost a little bit of the stem. I can sketch that in. There. And then I wanted some more interest, so I just kind of squiggled around some of the stems. And here is a micron pen if you didn't want to use that pen. So just do some squigglies around, make some tendrils if you wanted. However you want to finish this off. I had little dots, especially up here at the seed pod, thinking he must be bursting his seeds with all the movement, so I just gave some dots flying off in the air. And you can doodle more. You can doodle right on here on top of the landmass if you want, and you finish it off however you like it. And that's pretty much it. Here is the finished project. Let me see to get it close. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. And I think that's it. I might let it dry and add some more splashes. I think it could use some. I think I could tweak some of the colors in the landmass, but pretty much that's what the project is. And I hope you're going to be able to send some pictures to me. I'd love to see the work that you did. And again, I thank you very much for joining me, and sorry for the long video. So this will of course be done in 2 parts. All right, thanks very much for joining me in my studio, and have a great day. Goodbye.